She ignored her gut feeling. You ever get that feeling? The one where your stomach twists before your brain even understands why? Where something feels wrong but you can't explain it? Lauren didn't listen to that feeling, and it almost cost her everything. Lauren was 27, smart, cautious. She had a good head on her shoulders and knew how to navigate the complexities of modern dating, used to the dating game. She'd seen the red flags before, the awkward small talk, the ghosting, the endless swiping left and right. The guys who were too eager, the ones who texted too much or seemed overly enthusiastic on the first date. But Jacob felt different. He had a certain charm, a way of making her feel at ease. They talked for 2 weeks. He was charming, funny, seemed real. Their conversations flowed effortlessly, and she found herself looking forward to his messages. When he invited her to dinner at a nice restaurant, she didn't think twice. She felt a spark, a connection that was hard to ignore. A surprise, a little odd maybe, but his address was just 5 minutes from the restaurant. What was the harm in stopping by? She knocked. The door swung open with a creak, echoing in the silent hallway, and that's when her stomach twisted into knots, a wave of nausea washing over her, because the man standing there was not the man in the photo she had seen. He was a stranger. He was older, gaunt, with a face that looked like it had seen too many harsh winters. His eyes were sunken, like he hadn't slept in days. He didn't smile, just stared. Lauren's heart pounded in her chest, each beat louder than the last. I think I have the wrong address, she stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. But he shook his head, stepping forward with a deliberate, almost menacing slowness. No, you're here for Jacob, right? His voice was insistent, almost accusing. Something in her brain screamed, run. Every instinct told her to flee. She turned to go, but before she could, his hand clamped around her wrist, hard. The grip was like iron. Come on, don't be rude, he said forcefully, his eyes boring into hers. She felt trapped, like a deer in headlights. His grip tightened, fingers pressing into her skin. Panic surged. She yanked her arm free, stumbling backward, bolted for her car, fumbled the keys, got inside, locked the doors, and when she looked up, he was still standing there, watching, expressionless. She reported him, blocked him, shook it off, tried to forget. Her phone buzzed days later, breaking the silence that had settled in her life. A friend's message. Lauren, you need to see this. It was urgent, the kind of message that made her heart race. Her friend worked in cybersecurity, found something that couldn't wait, something that made Lauren's blood run cold. She felt a chill run down her spine, a news article on the screen. It was more than just news, it was a revelation. A photo of the man from the Tinder profile, the face she thought she knew, the real Jacob, missing, from another state. The truth was more terrifying than she could have imagined. Whoever she met that night wasn't him. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks. Always trust your gut. Stay safe. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for spine-chilling horror content. Please share with family and friends. The Tinder date that turned into a nightmare. You ever meet someone and something about them just feels off? You can't put your finger on it at first, but the longer you're around them, the more your gut starts screaming at you. That's exactly what happened to me. My name's Mark. I'm 32, and I swear to you, this story is real. It started with a Tinder match. Clara, gorgeous brunette, playful, confident, and way out of my league. We hit it off fast, and after a great dinner date, she invited me back to her place for a drink. Her apartment was nice, too nice. Clean, modern, but weirdly empty. No photos, no decorations. Just a couch, a table, a couple of chairs. It felt temporary, like a place someone passed through, not lived in. I should have listened to my instincts, but I didn't. We sat, had some wine, flirted a little, and then out of nowhere she asked me, "Do you live alone?" I chuckled. "Yeah." "Why?" She smiled. "No reason." A few minutes later, she excused herself to use the bathroom. I stayed on the couch scrolling my phone until I heard something, a creak, not from the bathroom, behind me. I turned my head, and that's when I saw it. A door I hadn't noticed before, slightly ajar. And inside, the dim light revealed something that made my stomach drop. A mattress, on the floor, a single chair, chains bolted to the wall. My skin went cold, and then, click, the sound of a lock. I spun back to the front door, lunged for the handle, twisted it, wouldn't budge. My heart pounded. "Clara." Then from behind me, so close I felt the whisper on my neck. "You shouldn't have seen that." Adrenaline hit me like a freight train. I rammed my shoulder into the door, once, twice, 3 times. The frame splintered, and I stumbled into the hallway, sprinting for my car. I didn't look back. I couldn't look back. When I got home, I barely slept. The next morning, I went straight to the police. They checked the apartment. It was empty. No furniture, no mattress, no chair, no chains, like no one had ever been there. And Clara? Her Tinder profile was gone, like she never existed. But I know what I saw, and I still wonder how many others never made it out of that apartment. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for spine-chilling horror content. Please share with family and friends. The Tinder date that never ended. I never thought a simple Tinder date would turn into the most terrifying night of my life. It all started so normal. Lisa and I matched and we hit it off instantly. Smart, funny, gorgeous, she seemed too good to be true. After a great first date, she invited me over for dinner. Said she wanted to cook for me. Who was I to say no? Her apartment was small but cozy. Warm lighting, soft music playing. She made this incredible pasta dish, paired with a bottle of white wine. She was charming, laughing at my jokes, touching my arm every now and then. It felt right, but then something changed. Halfway through my glass of wine, my limbs felt heavy. My vision blurred at the edges. A strange fog settled over my mind. Lisa noticed. She leaned in, resting a cool hand on my shoulder. "Are you okay?" she asked, her voice soft, too soft. I tried to stand, but my legs felt like cement. My tongue was thick in my mouth. I think I need to go." My words slurred. I barely recognized my own voice. Lisa pouted, her eyes dark. "So soon, but you just got here." And that's when I realized my keys were missing. My pockets, my jacket, empty. My phone, gone. My heart pounded against my chest. The room felt smaller. "You look tired," Lisa whispered. "Why don't you just stay?" I forced myself up, staggering toward the door. My legs wobbled. She stepped in front of me, blocking my way, her smile never fading. "Lisa," I managed. "Move." She didn't. That's when I knew. I had to get out. Now. Adrenaline kicked in. I grabbed my keys out of her hands. I shoved past her, stumbling into the hallway. My legs barely worked, but I ran. Down the stairs, out the front door. I didn't stop until I was locked inside my car, gasping for air. I made it home, still dizzy, my head spinning like I was drowning in molasses. The next morning I went straight to the doctor. Blood tests confirmed it. I had been drugged. I reported Lisa to the police, gave them her name, her Tinder profile, the apartment address, and that's where things got worse. The officer frowned. "You sure about this address?" he asked. Yeah, I said. Apartment 3B. He glanced at his notes, then back at me. Son, 3B belongs to an elderly woman. I know she's lived there for 30 years. I didn't believe it. I drove back to the apartment, knocked on the door. It opened. An elderly woman in her 70s stared at me. I said, Lisa? She repeated Lisa, confused. Honey, no one named Lisa has ever lived here. I felt sick. I stepped back, looked at the apartment number, the hallway, the door. Everything was the same, but it was like she had never been there. Lisa, the apartment, the dinner. It was all gone. No trace, no answers. Just a name that had vanished like she had never existed. And to this day, I still don't know who or what Lisa really was. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for spine-chilling horror content. Please share with family and friends.